Hello, I'm just coming to share a couple dreams that I just feel led to share. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get on into them. This first one that I'm gonna talk about, I actually had a couple nights ago, and in the dream, I'm standing in front of this person's house. They're like in the doorway with the door open, and I'm standing in front of their house, in front of their door outside. And I have this piece of paper on it, and it says the name Pocahontas on it, but it's actually missing some letters. But I just knew in my spirit that it said Pocahontas, and the letters were actually like, they reminded me of that coexist sticker that you see on people's bumpers. Like, it's like a bumper sticker. That's what like the letters look like. They were all different little shapes, just like that sticker. And so it said Pocahontas on it, and I was trying to explain to the person that something was going to happen with the Native Americans in Florida. I don't remember exactly what I was saying or exactly what was going to happen. I just remember speaking to the person and trying to explain to them that, yeah, something was going to happen with the Native Americans in Florida. And then the next two dreams I had maybe last week before. I usually will write my dreams down. I'll make a note of them, whether it's on my phone or like on a piece of paper. But I just didn't for these ones. So forgive me for not having the dates of them. But yeah, so in these next two dreams, they were about AI. And I had them the same night back to back. And the first dream, I was walking down my road, and I was walking around the corner. And as I came around the corner, I saw this giant, like 3-story building, and it was an AI building, and it was black and white. And they were shaped like, it was one giant building, but it was shaped weird. It kind of like reminded me of X's, and they were bigger on the top, smaller in the middle, and bigger on the bottom. And there was three of them, 1, 2, 3, but they were all one building. But even though they were one building, I could see like an outline to where it looked like 3. It's as if somebody just took Legos and put them together, but you could still see. It's like when you stack Legos together, you could still see the individual Lego piece, like the outline of it, after you've created whatever it is you created with the Legos. So something of the sort like that. And I was very shocked in the dream. I just remember being very shocked. For another thing too, like I live in a somewhat rural neighborhood. Like people have there's people with acreage here, 10 acres, 5 acres. But we still have neighbors, and there is like two little subdivisions behind my house. And so where the building was actually where like houses used to be, and it was the only building in our neighborhood. Everything else was houses and trees and grass. So it was just weird. And then the following dream, which like I said, I had this dream right after I had that dream. it was as if I was undercover, and it was me and two other people, and we were undercover in this building. And we ended up getting caught. And after we got caught, we were brought up to somebody's office, and they were like, okay, I'm going to keep this one, but we're going to kill you. Talking about me, they were going to kill me. And I was like, what? And so I started running. I was now out of the building, and I'm now hiding into like a motel room. And they had called the police, and the police had like a normal, regular, like human task force. But they also, like, there was also like an AI police force as well, and they were working together. And it's crazy because the AI were actually like these, like, the AI police force that was also called to help were like these giant slender robots, and they were on these giant motorcycles. And I don't mean giant as in like huge. I mean like the wheels were very, very wide. Some of them had 2 wheels, some of them were like ATV. But they all had like giant wide wheels, and they were doing flips on them, and they were very fast. These AI robots in their motorcycle ATVs, they were very, very fast. And then somehow they caught wind that I was like in the motel room, so started running. And yeah, there's more to that dream. I just don't feel led to share the rest of it. There's not much left, but I also don't feel led to share it. For one, the AI robots weren't in this part. It was just me running. So yeah, I just feel like God was just showing me in the very first dream. I just feel like God was just basically like showing me like AI is coming to a neighborhood near us or in our neighborhood, and it is eventually going to be used against us. You know, you see people who just enjoy it with like their Siri and their Alexa and their Echo and whatever else there is, and their AI Google and Chat GPT. Well, there's going to come a time where it's just eventually going to be used against us. Which leads me to my next thing I want to share. I had already posted a video titled that the police are coming. And basically in that dream, it was just about how our police force in America will be used against us. And in the dream, like, people were running, they were screaming for their lives. So it was more like on a very scary level. But I happened to be on YouTube, not yesterday, a couple days ago, the day before yesterday. And I am not a politics person. I don't watch like mainstream news or anything of that sort. But I was watching a video, and it was some sort of news report video. And they were talking about how the mayor of Miami had sent 2 sheriff deputies to this woman's house, all because of a Facebook post that she had posted on Facebook. That happened to be, it was a negative Facebook post about the mayor of Miami. And it just shocked me. Like, and she didn't say anything bad. Like, they claimed that there was a certain part of her post that can incite violence. And I was just thinking, like it was nowhere near, like, if everybody remembers when Donald Trump first came into office, his first term in office, and he had these people were making major death threats about him. And like, you had that comedian who did something with blood, Kathy Griffin, and she did something with blood and made it seem, like, did like a photo shoot of him being, like, she killed him or hung him, something of the sort. And this lady did, and nobody like, there was nothing like that happening at the time when all these posts were being made about Donald Trump when he first came into office, these death threats, these posts, these hateful posts. And like I said, I'm not a political person. I do not care about politics. This isn't about politics. I'm just trying to compare. Like, there was nothing, nobody's home, nobody's door was being knocked on. Nobody was being visited by the police department because of a social media post that they had made, right? So you fast forward now, and then you have the mayor of Miami sending 2 sheriff deputies to a woman's house over a post that she had made about him, a negative post that she had made about him on Facebook. That was nowhere near as bad as what was being said about Donald Trump in his first term. And it just goes to show, like, we are in the very beginning stages of the police being used against us. The very beginning stages. Because like I said, in my dream, it was way more intense. Like, whatever was going on, it was people were running for their lives. That's how intense it was. But this is how it starts out as. It's going to start out as something small, as knocking on your door and questioning you about a Facebook post. And then it's going to gradually get into something bigger. And yeah, it's just crazy. So yeah, if you want to watch that prophecy video, it is on my YouTube channel. It's called The Police Are Coming. And in the comment section, I put a link to the video of that news video about the lady getting her door being knocked on in Miami. So yeah, I hope that is it. I hope you all have a great day. Bye. And I just want to add to, now that we're starting to see, we've already seen prophecy unfolding from like other people with dreams and whatnot, and they're like the Master's Voice, Celestial, and all her prophecies unfolding and taking place. But to see this one, I don't know. It was just crazy for me to see, because I have shared my dreams with people close to me and around me. And unfortunately, some people just think I'm crazy. And I've had dreams of this where God was showing me, I'm trying to explain to people like what prophecy is. And these are people that I went to high school with. These are people that I know, that I went to church with, that I grew up with. And as I'm trying to explain to them what prophecy is, they just get so angry and they're yelling at me. And like I said, these are just dreams, but it's just God's way of showing me, like, these people just don't believe it, nor do they care about it. So to see this one like starting to unfold, a dream that God gave me, and it's starting to unfold and take place, it made me just really realize, like, we really need to repent and start coming closer to God, building our relationship with Christ, putting Him first, and be mindful to not fall into the snares and traps of the enemy. which reminds me of a couple dreams that I've had where where it's just raining, and it's like I could sense it in my spirit, especially when right when I wake up. It's like my first thought is, okay, the days of Noah. I had one dream where I'm like ushering people into a church, and it's just pouring down, raining, like nonstop raining. And when I woke up from that dream, I'm like, one of my first thoughts, days of Noah. And I had another dream where it was just pouring, it started pouring down, raining, and I hop into an SUV. Then I start thinking about like what happens when it floods. And when I woke up from that dream, like one of my first thoughts was days of Noah. And Jesus says it'll be like in the days of Noah. The last days will be like the days of Noah, where they're eating and drinking and marrying and whatnot. But also, there's people, just like how in the days of Noah, Noah was warning the people, like, hey, this is happening and God is coming. God's going to wipe out the earth. Like, get right, repent, help me build the boat. And nobody believed him. And what happened? It started raining. And it's the same thing. Like, it's basically God is saying it's in the days of Noah and it's starting to rain. And what happens after it's a nonstop rain in the days of Noah? It's going to flood. Like we are in the days of Noah that Jesus talked about in the New Testament, of how the last days would be. And I hope that's just very eye-opening and very awakening to some of y'all. Hopefully all of whoever watches this, to really like get yourself in line with God. If you have children, get them in line with God. To truly seek the Lord and get your relationship right with God. So yeah. That's about it. I hope you have a great day. Yeah. Geez, bye.